Hello everyone, welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Now channel. As always, this time I have appeared with the mysterious soap opera. So don't delay, like and subscribe now and stay tuned. Poppy cries for Tom, and Paris warns Hope down from Thomas at Bill's house. Poppy was still shaken by the news of Tom's death. Bill entered, saying that Poppy had been inconceivable earlier. She wondered if she could have him to herself a bit longer, but he informed her that he was headed to Forrester to talk to Katie. Bill claimed that he and Katie still had a lot to bandy due to Will having a new family. Poppy advised Bill not to be gone too long because she would miss him. Bill kissed her and left to snare Commodity from the den on his way out of the house. Katie, Poppy seethed to herself. Latterly, Poppy cried, gaping at the composition about Tom's demise. A flashback to a time when they had been youthful played. In it, Tom told her that the former night had been amazing. She said he would been amazing on and off the stage. Tom told her that she was his alleviation. Tom said he no way forgot a face, especially one as beautiful as hers. Poppy told him that she would carry a piece of him inside of her ever. Blubbing in the present, Poppy said, "I am so sorry, Tom. I am so sorry." Poppy cried, recalling Tom saying it was time Luna knew the verity. In the design office, Katie complimented Paris, and Paris showed off her ring. Katie noted that the engagement between Paris and Thomas had come as a bit of a shock to Katie. Paris assumed the swiftness of the engagement concerned Katie, but Paris said she would learn the hard way about committing to someone who was not completely committed to her. Paris did not want to go down that road again and had been fully upfront with Thomas about it. Katie wondered if Thomas had been fully upfront about Hope being his everything, until Paris had come his everything. Paris said Thomas had been open and honest about his passions for Hope. Katie asked if Paris believed that Thomas did not still have passions for Hope. Yes, but it does not sound like Hope's too convinced. Paris replied. Latterly, Katie was alone when Bill arrived. They gagged a bit about him being on bite. Katie asked what it was like to spend his days and nights with a woman who had kept such a consequential secret from him. She backed off, saying she might be overpassing. Bill replied that she meant too important to him to ever be seen as doing that. Bill stated that he and Katie had history, and she was one of the many people whom he could really trust. Katie called him her first true love and man of her dreams. She'd grown up with him, and they had an awful life. She thanked God for their son. Bill said Will was the stylish of both of them. Just like Luna is the stylish of you and Poppy. Katie asked. Bill asked what Katie knew about Luna. Katie responded with positive effects. She saw a lot of Bill in Luna, just as there was a lot of him in Will. Bill talked about setting up a time for Luna and Will to meet. What about Poppy? Katie asked. Bill asked what Katie meant. She noted that effects had moved presto, and Bill wanted Luna and her mama near to him. Bill asked if Katie allowed he should have bird Poppy. Katie repeated that it was all passing veritably presto. Bill replied that he was sorrowfully apprehensive of how transitory and precious life was, and he was apprehensive of all the time he would missed out on with Luna and Poppy. He would been alone for quite a while. He said it had not been what he would wanted. He would wanted his Katie. Stammering, Katie asked why Bill would talk that way when Poppy was living in his house and he'd passions for Poppy. Bill replied that he did because Poppy had given him a son. Katie added that Poppy was also in love with him, and it was really hard for Katie. She stated that she felt like a busybody in her own home. She said she felt like she was not allowed to be in the home, our home, where they'd raised Will. She said she had amazing recollections of them there. Bill replied that he did too, and always would. He asked what was really going on. Katie stated that she had not realized or wanted to admit how delicate the situation was with Luna and Poppy, and Katie did not trust Poppy. There was Commodity Katie could not put her cutlet on, and she wanted Bill to be careful. In Eric's office, Thomas arrived at the end of Hope's call with Cleric, and Thomas asked if everything was okay. Hope explained that Deacon's hand and marriage efficient had failed of a medicine overdose at Il Giardino. Thomas had arrived to talk to Hope. He did not like the way Steffi had spoken to Hope the other day, but misstoked that she would get in reason. Unconcerned about Steffi, Hope supplicated Thomas to suppose long and hard before getting wedded. He said he loved her too, but Hope guessed he would say Paris had stolen his heart, and he was marrying Paris because he could not imagine a life without her. Hope asked if any of what she would said was true. She asked if Thomas was running toward Paris or running down from Hope. Hope claimed that she did not suppose she was the only woman he would ever love, and if they were not meant to be, also that was ineluctable. Hope said Paris was awful and kind, but it sounded like Thomas was trying to copy-paste Paris into his life rather of Hope. Hope knew the vision he would have for them and Douglas, and she knew how important he would wanted it. Yes, I did, but you didn't. And that is why you turned me down over and over again, he told her. Hope claimed that it had not meant that she would wanted the relationship to end. She blatted that she still loved Thomas, and she believed he still loved her too. Thomas did not know why she was bringing up all their passions from back also. Hope said it had not been that long ahead. He replied that a lot had happened since. Hope claimed it bothered her that Thomas' life had changed so snappily and that he would virtually run from her to Paris. Hope said, I suppose you're running from your passions. I suppose you wanted to put me and what we participated before in the history so presto because you just did not want to deal with it. He yelled that she had not wanted to marry him, so he would had to move on. In the corridor, Paris heard Thomas yelling. She walked up to the door and headed in. Thomas said he would set up Paris, and they'd been there for each other. Hope claimed to be happy that he would set up support, but she asked if it was really a reason to rush into marriage. She had not forgotten what it had been like between them. Touching Thomas, Hope asked if he'd forgotten. She uttered about the passion and the connection. Thomas cupped the nape of her neck. After a moment, he told her that she had to stop it. You made it clear. We are not going anywhere. It's over, he told Hope and paraded out of the office. Alone, Hope loved. Paris entered and asked if she had to remind Hope that Thomas was Paris' fiancé. You are out of line, Hope, Paris asserted. Hope wanted to explain, but Paris asked how Hope could do it to someone she had considered a friend. Paris stated that they'd been near, and Paris had been a precious part of HFTF. Hope said she had not forgotten. Paris asked how Hope could impale Paris in the reverse the way she just had. Holding up her hand, Paris stated that Thomas had put the ring on her cutlet, and they were engaged. Hope claimed to know it. Paris said Hope did not accept it. Hope explained that she and Thomas had been in love, and Paris demanded to know that they still loved each other. Paris replied that Thomas would always watch about Hope, but he would move on and wouldn't go back. Paris concluded that Hope had had her chance, and she would have rejected him time after time. Paris believed that Thomas had too important tone respect to let Hope do it to him again. Paris declared that he was with her, she loved him, and they'd be married. So do not you ever make a play for Thomas again, Paris advised.